Good morning, Jordan. Thanks for being here with us today. We've got a pretty good group with us, so let's go ahead and begin with questions for Jordan. If you would please raise your hand and you'll go ahead and ask your question, and then we'll move on to the next individual. Who's ready to start us off? Let's go ahead and start with Nebias Wilborn.
You got the first name right, last name Wilborn. It's all good though. We're gonna get there, Rose.
I swear I thought I said it right. I'm so sorry.
That's okay, people. I'm related to Mike though, if that helps. So it's all good.
Okay, well, he knows me. So he knows me. He'll speak up for me.
Awesome. So Jordan, for you, when you don't get to have a guy like Journey Brown on the team, not as a player, but just as a man, what has he meant to you guys? What has he meant to you as a man and as a human being?
We all love Journey. He's like a brother to all of us. He's one of the strongest guys I know. He's been through a lot of stuff, but he always has that positive attitude. He's out there every day helping us. He's a mentor to me, and we're the same age, and that says a lot. But he's a great dude. I hate that he's not going to be out there with us this year, but at the same time, I know he will be at the same time, even though he's not going to be on the field.
Jordan, thank you for that answer. Let's go next to Rich Scarcella.
Thanks for your time today. Oh.
You're good, Rich.
Hey, Jordan, thanks for your time today. Can you describe the awarding of the number 0 to Jonathan and how appropriate that choice was, you think?
From the beginning, I even talked to my family about it. I said, if there's anyone on the team that deserves number 0, it's Sutherland. And then you have that little cool catchphrase too, South Zero. I'm so happy for him, and I really don't think he could go to a better guy. I feel like he's a mentor on the field. He never gets in trouble. He always does what he's supposed to do. He always has a positive attitude. I mean, I could go on and on, but he's exactly who should have got.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Let's go next to Greg.
Hey, Jordan, how you doing? Sorry, I couldn't unmute myself. Jordan, are you there?
Yes, sir. How are you? I'm good.
Great. I'm well. Thanks so much. Hey, I'm just curious. Obviously, game week, it's been so long to get to this point. Can you put into words kind of how things feel now that it's actually here and you're I guess you're 2 days into it basically, and you're 4 days from kickoff. Just I can see the smile on your face. Does it feel like it's finally real now?
Yeah, it's about time. We've been waiting for this forever. I'm so ready. This team's ready. We prepared in the off season the best we can, and I know everyone's just super pumped to play.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Parth, let's go ahead and go next to you.
Hey, Jordan, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. We were talking to Pat earlier, and he mentioned that, even though Journey's not playing, he's still around, still boosting the morale of the team, helping out in whatever way he can. Can you kind of elaborate on that? What are Journey's contributions now that he obviously is not playing?
Like I said earlier, Journey always comes to practice with a positive attitude. He's not one of those guys that just talks to a select few individuals. He talks to everyone on the team. He's always going around trying to help people who's down. And it says a lot because he should be down himself right now, but he's not. He's happy to be out there. He counts his blessings. He's always with the running backs, helping them get better. And if they're not having a good day, he's not having a good day. He's out there in spirit, and then it's just being there. He's done a really good.
Jordan, I think you cut out at that last part. Could you repeat those last few words?
Oh yeah, I just said he's just always out there doing what he can to help the team.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate that. Let's go next to Matthew. I'm sorry, Matthew, I skipped over you before.
Oh, it's okay. This is actually my first media availability. So Jordan, thank you for being here. I appreciate your time today. We talked about Jonathan Sutherland earlier, and as a fellow special teams captain, what does that number 0 mean to you guys as a cohesive unit?
I mean, it just says a lot because this is the first time it's ever been awarded to someone. has done everything right to deserve number 0. It's like he's one of the few captains, but for him to get number 0, it just shows how much the team respects him and the coaches. And I know he's going to wear it proudly, and he's going to do everything he needs to do with it.
Thanks.
Tobias, we'll come back to you for your next question.
Yes, Jordan, since these seasons have started, there's been a lot of special teams blunders, probably more than normal across football. Like, how much is Coach Lorig like really emphasizing with you guys, especially since you can't have unit practices for special teams as much?
I think a big thing Lorig does is we spend just as much time on special teams as we do with offense and defense. I feel like that's not something that a lot of coaches do, but he really creates an emphasis on how important special teams is, because a lot of people outside the program really may not understand how important it is. But he just there's a CTG program where it's like blue, white, and platinum. And it's where when we do the right things, we get little rewards, and that just really pushes guys in the right direction of working harder on special teams. And he also, a lot of the time, he emphasizes how important special teams are, not only in college, but in the NFL, and how that can actually help you get to the NFL. If you're not like a primary guy on offense or defense, that doesn't mean anything, because you can still go to the NFL for special teams. I mean, look at Dan Jacinta. He made the 53-man roster, and he's playing and doing. So it's kind of crazy, but that's pretty much what Coach Lorig does.
Thanks, Jordan, for that answer. Let's go next to Audrey.
Hey, Jordan, thanks for your time. This wasn't going to be my question, but you mentioned the platinum CTG level. How many guys are in that? I'm imagining it's Sutherland and maybe yourself. Who's in that category?
Actually, no one has made it to platinum yet.
Oh, wow.
The whole team, we started last year, and we've only made it to white and blue. And I did that after the first 3 games, and after the first 3 games, no one went higher than platinum.
Thanks, Jordan, for that response. Let's go back to Tyler for a follow-up question.
Hi, Jordan, and hello, Rose, also. Jordan, I wanted to ask, because you mentioned I wasn't going to go this direction, but Dan Chisena, to see this guy playing on Sundays, earning an NFL paycheck, such a surprise story for a lot of us who cover Penn State closely. What's that been like in the special teams room, Coach Lorig, all you guys, when just seeing him not only stick with the roster, but seeing time each week?
I mean, it just shows how important special teams is. And if you put a lot of time and effort into honing your craft on special teams, that you could be very, very successful in NFL. And with him, if he just plays special teams for his entire career in the NFL, he's going to be there for a long time. I mean, and each year he's going to get paid more and more and more, and he's going to get more. He's just going to keep getting better at it. And guys see that too, and I think that's huge. But besides that, Dan Jacinta was always a leader on the field. He never did anything wrong, like I said. Same with Sub and Journey. He just works his butt off and goes out there and produces.
Audrey, let's come back to you, and then we'll go to Benjamin.
Okay, thanks, Rose. Jordan, what range are you most comfortable at with field goals? Like, what's kind of the yard marker with it? Because I know Coach Lorig likes to track everything.
Franklin asks me this about every week, and I keep going up. 65 now, I'm saying 70. So, I mean, whatever he would allow me to kick, I would love to kick. So, depending on the conditions, I mean, it's going to be a little colder this year. That might take me down a little bit, but I'm pretty comfortable at any distance that's besides like 75 or 80. I can't do that yet. Maybe one day.
Thanks for that answer, Ben. Let's come back to you for your question.
Hey, Jordan, thanks for your time today. Just obviously there's gonna be no fans this year. So you're kind of preparing for that weirdness, and does it kind of change anything for you as a kicker?
This kind of takes it back to like the pure, I mean, we're not playing for all the eyes that are on us. We're playing for our teammates. And I think this year is going to be really interesting to see how people react. For me, no, it doesn't change anything. But when there are a lot of fans, I know my adrenaline's up. I feel like I kick the ball a little farther, but just all I need is my teammates out there with me, and I'll be able to do anything I'm supposed to be able to do.
Nate Bauer, let's come over to you now.
Hey, Jordan, this is kind of a general question, but do kickers get tired during a game?
It depends. If we're playing a team where we're up by like 60 points, then yeah, all those kickoffs take a toll. I have to run down the field like 7 or 8 times. That's a lot. But for the most part, the only thing that makes me tired is my muscles get a little sore sometimes. And after kicking like 7 kickoffs or like 5 punts and then field goals too. But I mean, I get a little tired. But the biggest part of it is on the sideline when I'm warming up the whole time and stretching. So by the end of like the 4-hour game, 2.5-hour game, I'm kind of tired.
Thanks for that answer. Thanks for that insight. Matthew, let's come back to you for a follow-up question.
All right, so we talked about you played with Blake Gillikin in the past, and he's had the opportunity to learn from Thomas Morstead, one of the best in the league. Who is one person that you would love to work under at some point or learn from?
Oh, let me think. I would love to learn from Justin Tucker, Harrison Bucker, for sure. Those two. And then, McAfee. I would love to learn from Pat McAfee. He was in the league forever, and now he just does his own thing. I feel like I could learn more from Pat McAfee about just life in general than even football. But there's a bunch of guys in the NFL. Anyone that I'd be able to work under or learn from would be great.
Absolutely.
Tyler, let's come back to you for your next question.
Jordan, naturally, there's a lot of tension on what Penn State is going to be missing at running back without Journey. But how about as a kickoff returner, with him not in that mix, what do you see from the group? Who are names to know? And as the guy who is in charge of making sure kickoff returners don't do much damage against you, what can this group do against opponents?
I feel like even though we don't have Journey, we still have a bunch of good guys that could hop in that position, and we have a few. I'm not exactly 100% sure who the starter is right now, but there's like 3 or 4 guys in the mix, and they're all doing a really good job. I would love to see Hartlaw back there because he's so quick, but we'll see what happens.
Thanks for that answer. Mark, let's come to you for a question for Jordan. Mark, can you go ahead and unmute yourself? Mark, do we have you? Mark, can you try your question again? We'll come back to Mark. Let's go to Matthew really quick.
Sorry about this, Jordan. I got one more question about Pat McAfee. I'm an avid listener to the podcast. How do you feel about him kind of bringing special teams and the minutia of the special teams to the mainstream through the For the Brand movement these past couple of years?
I feel like it's so sweet. I feel like we don't get too much attention, and then he's really helped with that, getting guys involved. And even on top of that, he's made a lot of young kids like want to kick, and that doesn't happen too often. But he's a mentor to a lot of people, including myself. But yeah.
Awesome. Let's come back to Mark with your question, and then we'll go back to Tyler for his question.
Yeah, I think I got it fixed. Apologize for looking ridiculous there. I wanted to get the progression you've made as a punter during training camp. Have you been measuring distance, pin rates inside the 20, inside the 5, that sort of thing?
I feel like I've improved a lot through the past 2 or 3 months, and pretty much just punting more than I have in the past. But I mean, we do measure everything, and I'd say my hang times went up about 0.2, and then my distances. The big thing is I've taught myself how to punt, not just for height, but for distance as well, by lowering the ball. And I wasn't extremely good at that before the last few months. I've gotten a lot better at that. I think that's going to be a big part, depending on who the returner is, being able to punt over their head if they can't get back fast enough. That's the main thing I've been working on, punting for distance instead of just height, and then the combination of the two.
Jordan, that's a great answer. Thank you for that. Tyler, let's go to question. We've got a few more minutes. If anyone else has questions, please raise your hand. But Tyler, let's go to you next.
bringing up a couple guys you spent a lot of time with since you got to campus. One, Blake Gillikin. He talked about a lot of confidence in you before he left, taking over that punter role. Has he maintained communication? Do you guys keep in touch? I know he's trying to earn himself an NFL paycheck, but is it steady? And then additionally, Jake Pinniger. You talked about, can he hold for you? You're going to hold for him. Is that kind of is that going to happen? Is he ready to do that? Because it's something you addressed in the summer. I don't know if you did a couple weeks ago as well.
Oh yeah, I still talk to Blake at least once, if not twice a week. We still keep in touch. He was super happy for me when I got voted captain, because I'm just like taking over for him pretty much, which is pretty cool. Because I know a lot of the guys looked up to him, and just to be in the same position as him is kind of unbelievable. I know how hard he worked and how much people liked him. And then with Jake holding, Jake's not going to be holding, but the freshman Levi, he's holding a little bit, and then Rafael Checa, he's been holding. He's been doing a really good job. I'm really comfortable with my holding as well as who's going to be holding for me, because we've worked on that so much. Because honestly, that's one of the things I was most nervous about, was holding, because if I mess up, it's on him too, not just me. And that bugged me a little bit. But I've spent a lot of time holding. It's harder than people think, and I've gotten pretty good at it.
Jordan, thanks for that explanation. Tyler, let's come back to you. We probably have time for one more question before the 11 o'clock press conference.
I've got one more follow-up, and you can't point to me if you say specialists don't get enough attention, because I'm peppering you here today. But when we look at what you're going to do collectively as a unit, special teams wise, Lorig, year 2, do you feel like last year was kind of adjusting to the expectations? I know you were new, but do you feel like a lot of things don't need to be explained, like maybe they had to be explained last year?
Lorig's a pretty simple guy when it comes to special teams. It's on the ball and no penalties. Those are his 2 big things. Other than that, I feel like he's just incorporated a little bit more of his knowledge in the past few months compared to what we knew last year, because obviously last year we just had to get used to the new schemes and stuff. And now this year he's added a little bit more, but he doesn't overwhelm us. He's really simple. Like I said, we do what we need to do. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. But Lorig knows what he's doing for sure.
Thank you for that answer. Let's go quickly to Nate Bauer, and then Tyler, you'll be our final question.
Jordan, Indiana's head coach yesterday kind of, I'm going to paraphrase for him, but he basically said that he thought that special teams were a differentiating factor in games, like for the underdog versus a typically better team. Do you guys view it the same way in terms of an opportunity to really, kind of impact the outcome of a game like this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you think about it. If I'm backed up on the 20-yard line and I have to punt to the other side of the field, if I shank the punt and it goes out on the 50, then they have a much higher chance of scoring. I forget the exact percentage. But then if I have a bomb punt, it goes down to inside the 20 or inside the 10, then they're probably not going to score. So just little things like that have a huge impact on the game. And I mean, I think people realize that, but that's something that Coach Lorig really talks to me about and says, hey, you need to do well. Jake needs to do well. Stoll needs to do well. You guys are a huge part of this game, whether people realize it or not.
Tyler, do you want to go ahead and follow up with our last question?
Wrap this one up. Going back to Jake and you, is it, again, this may have been asked 2 weeks ago during the player media days, but is it as defined as it was last year within the 49-yard and in is Jake's territory and 50 and out is your territory? And how does that work? Because I'm sure Jake's like, I can hit it from 52. I mean, give me a shot. I mean, is there a little bit of setting the ego aside on both your parts?
Yeah, it is, because Jake's just as capable of making long field goals as I am short field goals. It's just one of those things where we just go to charts. I make more behind 50 than he does, and he's made more inside than I have. So obviously the best way to solve that is to let me kick long ones and let him kick short ones. We can both kick all the field goals, but I just feel like this way it's the best chance to help us win. And he thinks the same way. Jake's one of my best friends on the entire team. I don't think there's ever been any bad blood ever since I got here. And I know we've both made each other a lot better.
and just to clarify, is it still 49 and in is him and 50 and out is you? Is it that defined?
Yeah, it's the same exact thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for joining us. Jordan, thank you a million for answering all these questions. Have a great rest of your week, everyone.